hold on to your dream, because by me holding on to that dream that I had when I was about 9 years old, that I am going to California, because I knew the land of opportunity at that time was in California. And I kept my eyes on my goal and on my dream. And that has brought me actually to senior life.
Fired up.
Hello, Senior Life family, to another episode in All Fired Out podcast. My name is Marianne Rincon. I'll be hosting today's episode, and we have a special guest, Miss Fran. How are you feeling today?
I feel great. I feel phenomenal. That's the word that we use.
That's true. All fired up, ready for the
Yeah, all
podcast.
fired up,
So,
yes.
welcome officially to Senior Life. So, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to Senior Life.
Yes, well, the road to senior life was because I held on to my dream. Years ago, when I first went off to college, which was in California, the very first year I stayed with my aunt, because I went to Los Angeles City College for the first 2 years. And of course, there's no dorm there, so I stayed with an aunt. But the second, of course, when I went home for the summer, she died very unexpectedly. So my dad said to me, what are you going to do? And I said, I want to go back to California. And so he said, well, where will you stay? And that's when I explained to him about the off-campus dorms that they have. And he said, well, how are you gonna pay the $8 a week for the rent that they have? And I just said, well, just let me get back to California. I'll get a job and I'll work my way through. And this is what I did. But he did buy me my bus ticket back to California. And I said that to say this, because California had always been my dream. I was about 10 years old when we had some relatives return to Houston for a funeral of a loved one. And all of them came back looking so good in their suits and their nice cars. And I'm just 9 or 10 years old. And I said then, when I graduate from high school, I'm going to California. And so I held on to that dream. And of course, I remember when my grandmother took me to the bus station, she raised me. And she said, she had a little brown bag lunch for me, a little brown bag lunch with my chicken and bread. And she said, do you have any money? And I didn't, but I had that dream before me, and it just didn't matter that I didn't have any money. I knew I could make it work if I got there. And so she gave me, I remember, her last $6. So I get on the bus with $6 in my little brown bag lunch, and I get there, and of course, my very best friend, we're friends to this day. We met the first day of college. She picked me up from the bus station. And I'll never forget, because, I'm from Texas. And as soon as I stepped off the bus and I said hello, she said, oh, my goodness, I've got to start working all over again, because I had developed my Southern accent again.
Right.
But I said all of that to say, hold on to your dream, because by me holding on to that dream that I had when I was about 9 years old, that I am going to California, because I knew the land of opportunity at that time was in California. And I kept my eyes on my goal and on my dream. And that has brought me actually to senior life. I started in the insurance industry. It's been 44 years now. Don't try to guess my age, Marianne. I started when I was 10, okay? But I started with Prudential Insurance, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity and for the training that and the development that I received from that company. And I'm now able to incorporate all of that into senior life and actually build my agency. And I appreciate senior life, because for all of the training that I got from the other companies, senior life is allowing me to own my own business. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And it's because of that training that I can incorporate into the other agent partners and help them to become all that they can be in this industry.
This was a great, amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing that. Another question I would like to ask is, what actually attracted you to senior life?
Well, we were attending a Medicare seminar, because I did Medicare also. And Penny Mitchell received a text. We were all at the table, and she received this text from Helen, who was actually inquiring about the status of the leads that she had gotten, how she was doing with them. And then Penny shared with us about this company that has these leads and the training, and we're all sitting there supposedly interested in Medicare, but all of a sudden we're interested in senior life. And we said, what company is this? And she said, and they have no chargebacks, and to an experienced licensed insurance agent, no chargebacks. That's music to your ears. Tell us
Right.
about this. No chargebacks. And she said, no chargebacks. And with leads, I had never been with a company that offered leads. Never. In all of the years that I've been doing insurance, you had to get your own leads. I said, leads? So she made a phone call to Helen Adams. And the rest is history. I mean, we jumped on it right away. I understand that as Helen was driving was when Penny was telling her that she had one person. Then she said, I have someone else. So Helen had to pull over. And
Oh, wow.
she said she pulled into a McDonald's parking lot so that she could take all of this information. And that's how Houston got started with just the four of us. It was Penny Mitchell, myself, Kathy Lee, and John Hill. And that was in 2019. And we started Houston, and I'm excited about that because we've grown. Oh my goodness, we've grown. And Dr. Burns said, give it 2 to 5 years. And that's what I've done, and I see it developing in these 2 to 5 years. It's really, really happening.
Wow. I mean, when you hear a good opportunity, you can't let it go.
That's right.
And
that's
that's
right.
exactly what happened.
Yes.
Wow. So, for how long you've been in senior life, and what are some personal accomplishments that you've got?
Well, there's a funny story with me starting with Senior Life, too. I told you how excited we were.
Okay.
Well, Helen was, she was our upline, and so we relied on Helen. And I remember my very first appointment, I wrote an ultimate preferred. And, you don't write ultimate preferred with Senior Life. You do not do that.
Okay, tell us why for the people who don't know.
Okay, I wrote this ultimate preferred, and of course, I did just a few calculations of an estimate of what to expect for commissions.
Right.
And I get this check for $75. And I said, $75? I said, no, this company, this is a scam. I have nothing to do with them. It should be a law against a company paying a professional licensed insurance agent $75 for an application. So I quit.
Okay, what brought you back?
Well, and then, of course, after you haven't written business for a while with Senior Life, they send you a termination letter. So I got the termination letter, and to me, that was a joke. I said, I've already quit. But Dr. Burns came to Houston. Now, that was in 2018 when I quit. Dr. Burns came to Houston in March of 2019. Such an important month, a year for me. I'll never forget it, and I appreciate it. He and Helen both came. And it was so funny because I knew he was coming. I knew Helen was coming, and I was still supportive. Now, I was still supportive of Penny Mitchell and Kathy Lee because they were still doing Senior Life. So I said, I'll be supportive, and I know how important it is when you're bringing a guest and you want to have as many people there as possible. So I said, sure, I'll go. I was very supportive, and I went to support them. And it was so funny because Helen had never met me. We had only talked,
okay.
yes. And so this was her first time meeting me. And so when she comes up and, she met me, and then Dr. Burns comes up and she says, oh, Dr. Burns, this is Fran Fleming, and she's going to come back in. And I'm thinking to myself, I didn't tell her that. And, of course, Dr. Burns did a great presentation about the company and the benefits and the rewards. And I was on the front row, and he remembered me. He said, because I was sitting on the front row, very attentive to listening to what he was saying. And after that, we went out. So afterwards, I decided, you know what? I'm going to give it another chance. I am. And we went over after the presentation that Dr. Burns had made, and Helen said, well, I says, okay. And he got on the phone, and he called Senior Life, and I was reinstated.
Oh, look at that.
Just
Wow.
like that,
Well,
just
they
like
were setting you
that.
up for success, for sure.
And I took the ball and I ran with it because I saw the opportunity. And then, of course, legacy. I had heard about legacy, and I still didn't have a very good understanding of what legacy was about. And it was so funny because in the beginning, when I would write my applications, where it asked, "Do you want to include any other legacy household members?" I'd always put no. And so I think it was Helen and someone said, "Well, Fran, why aren't you adding other household members?" Well, I didn't add them because I didn't really understand legacy, and I just said no. But once, and I wanted to really get a real good understanding of legacy because everyone was just saying legacy, legacy, and I'm thinking, what is this legacy? I know that it did the three things, but I wanted to elaborate on those three things. And so once I kept hearing it and hearing it, you hear it over and over, and then it'll click, and that's what happened. And when it clicked, I think, oh, I got it. I understand legacy now. And it was easy for me after I understood it because for 10 years, I worked directly with the funeral homes doing pre-arrangements. And then I saw the contrast between final expense, legacy, and pre-arrangements, and how final expense and legacy, that's so much better for the families. And now that I got it here in my head, I could bring it down into my heart, and then I could bring it out, and the families would understand just as I understood. And that's what sells senior life, is legacy. When they understand that, everything else just falls right into place. I've had some agent partners say, "Well, how do you get to the actual rates and how do you?" Well, that just, when they understand what legacy is going to do for the family on the worst day of the family's life, and see, I can explain that to them because I work directly at the funeral home, and I can tell them, this is what your family's going to go through. We're going to take away emotional stress, and we're going to take away financial stress because of legacy. And even though they have insurance, they want legacy, and they take senior life because now senior life is there to make certain that all of those expenses are taken care of. So
Thank you so much for touching on that. And everybody knows that this is what sets us apart, what
yes,
makes the difference in the market.
yes,
So thank you so much for talking about it and how we've been able to help a lot of families.
yes.
And I do want to ask you, what is something that keeps you motivated and excited?
Well, I love people. I love helping people. And I can remember years ago when, and it has really changed as far as the generation of young people or people now really believing and accepting insurance as they did years ago. My grandmother had this little brown envelope on the wall to pay her insurance. And I remember the insurance man coming by, and she always makes certain that that was done. And then when she passed away, everything was in place. And it took away that emotional stress from us. I'll always remember that. She had picked out everything, she had chosen everything. So it was so much easier for us. And so it's so important to have them understand that this is inevitable. And what we're doing, we're not taking away the grief, but we're making it a little easier for your family on the worst day of their lives. And so that's what makes it, that's what makes me love this job. So, well, my career. It's not a job. This is a career,
Yes,
I love it. I love people. I love helping people, and I love educating them too, because they need the education to understand the benefits of final expense and the life insurance policies that they have. And that life insurance policy that they have, that goes to your family. Now we're showing you this final expense policy is going to take care of all the final expenses.
True. Thank you so much again. Thank you for coming today. Do you have any special words to someone in a specific?
Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me to be here. And I just want to say that this is truly an opportunity of a lifetime. This is the only, this allows us to just live the life that most of us or all of us really want. Financial independence is allowing us to be able to leave this legacy for our children's children's children. It has allowed me to accomplish and to be able to help my family when my daughter went through a divorce. And because of senior life, I was able to buy her a home. So I'm able to pay for my home, buy her a home. And this is what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to give back, not just to your family, but I give back, through my church. I give back to others that I can help. And so this is the opportunity of a lifetime. I have truly fulfilled the dream that I had years ago when I said I wanted to go to California. I'm back home now in Houston, Texas. I live home now. I never thought I'd live in Houston again, but I'm back. And I brought back all of the accomplishments that I fulfilled there in California, and now I'm able to actually just share this throughout the nation because this allows me to recruit agents throughout the nation, and I do have agents in other states. And building, I look at it as it has allowed me, and it is allowing me to build franchises. That's what I present
Right.
to my agent partners. I said, "You're owning your own business, and now you can build franchises throughout the nation, thanks to Senior
Wow.
Life."
I am so happy to hear how you made your dreams come true and how you're still making your dreams come true. How you're able to help not only your agents but your family and
Yes,
just build that future for them. So,
yes.
do you want to leave any phone number to someone who would like to get in contact with you?
Oh, yes, definitely. Okay, again, my name is Fran Fleming, and you can reach me at 832-754-4731.
Thank you, and just maybe an email or any other contact
Yes,
info.
and my email would be Fleming, that's Fleming, Fran, Fran, at hotmail.com. I get teased a lot about my Hotmail, but I'm going to stick with I have Gmail, but I prefer my Hotmail.
Well, once again, thank you so much for coming today. Thank you for sharing all your experiences. And thank you to everyone who's watching out there. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and just see you in the next episode.
Fire up.